So this episode will be about betting on yourself.
Wow.
How did you know to bet on yourself?
No. Before you answer that question, how do you know to bet on yourself? You have to be the kind of person that you will bet on yourself.
No, I'm asking you.
Me.
You.
Will I bet on
How
myself?
did you know to bet on yourself?
Because I won't quit. It can fail, but I won't. One of the things is, I develop those qualities. I'll not quit. I will stick to it. I'll live my word. I will go through the discipline. I'm not a pleasure-seeking mechanism. I can go through pain. And given me that reliability of producing, I will bet on myself. On many things, not on everything, on many things. That I will do what has to be done. But that is not something I was born with, something I had to cultivate. So why would I bet on myself? Again, I will not bet on myself on everything. But on the things that I'll bet on myself, I cultivated those qualities. I didn't have it naturally. I don't think so. But I developed that quality. I learned not to be lazy. I learned to do what has to be done. I learned to work with people. I learned to pay attention. Like just now when I asked you, you said you need time to prepare. And that it shows that you are someone who will take time to prepare. So how did I bet on myself? I didn't give me a choice to fail. I was always in a situation I cannot fail. I had to perform. I had to do. So I didn't give myself the luxury of quitting.
You didn't even have the luxury.
I didn't even have the luxury. So I had to do. I think I'm the most unlikely to make it. And I knew it. And I had to do what I had to do. So I think one of the qualities I have probably that I will bet on myself. I'm quite my perseverance is much
tenacious.
Tenacious, and I don't simply do things. I take time. I take a long time to make a decision to do, but once I decide, I see it through. So and that's it. There's nothing much more to talk about that. But maybe for the audience, I want to ask, how can you be the kind of person you will bet on you? What are the areas you need to develop? What are the areas you need to cultivate? And it has a lot to do with doing homework, lot to do with holding yourself in a way you become clear. It has a lot to do with you doing what you need to do. You see, a lot of people don't want to do what has to be done. They want to find a shortcut. This is why I hate all the 7 steps to success and 6 steps to enlightenment, one magical technique, and these are like the loser's guide to success is losing and pretending it is success. That is the loser's guide. You do what you got to do. If you see, I want to talk about the guy. I don't know what's his name, the one who kind of reposted one of the videos. And
I can find his name for you.
He is, I can see him, He has his drink. I don't know whether he's running a shop or a business. That's a quality I would bet on. He's right there, on point. I love it, Sometimes some of these podcast people, have you seen? They do the work that has to be done. So my question to you is, are you doing everything you can to be the kind of person you will bet on? Or are you being spoiled? Are you being this person who think you have the right to succeed without doing the work?
So how do people figure it out? How do you come to know? Like, I knew when I asked you this question, you would tell me you didn't have a choice. You were 18 years old, you didn't have any money, and what else are you going to do? You got to bet on yourself. But there are so many people, they are paralyzed by fear. They have so many opportunities, but they just can't trust themselves, put bet on themselves. The fear is too much, or they just don't think they're going to succeed.
No, it's a luxury they don't have. They think they have. They think they have. Once I was telling a story. I don't know why the story came to my mind. I and my brother's friend, who's a doctor, we were swimming across a channel in Pulau Tioman, one of the islands. And somewhere in the midpoint, there's a bay. We both were swimming, and this was maybe like a 3-kilometer swim or something, not a big deal at that age. Suddenly we saw a shark came, a big one, came right to us and it took a turn. And we both looked at each other. From that point, we both held our hands and swam back. What are we going to do? We're in the midpoint. This is survival too. We were at midpoint. We can turn back or go forward. I said, might as well die trying, finishing up to the end, the shoreline. I kept feeling the shark is coming to get my leg, You see, you are creating luxuries you don't have. You are creating options you don't have. You have to be able to bank on you. Who else will? So hang on a minute. I think there is too much contemplation, too much luxury, too much option. And this is created by people who are saying you can get away with it. People who are saying you can do this. I don't like this shortcut. I don't like this quick fix. I like immersion. I like find what is that you cannot afford to fail. See, a lot of you have the option to fail, You might have a, support system. You are abusing it. You cannot fail. Like, I put it another way. I could not fail my dad. He loved me too much. He was my first cheerleader. And he cheerlead me, not like, I believe you. He's beyond belief. Of course you'll make it. I remember buying a Mercedes and going home. I said, Dad, look at my car. He like, And that was it. Why so late? So I didn't have an option. Again, you are creating complexities. You are creating feelings that are not there. You are becoming so much contemplative. No, life is 1, 2, 3. Get up, do what is to be done.
But I bet on myself and I failed, for example.
No, you didn't fail. You're just learning before you succeed. When you bet on yourself, you don't fail. You are on a learning curve. You see, if you bet on yourself, you bet that you'll reach the end. Whatever happened in between is not the end. So when you say, I bet on myself, no, you tried, you gambled.
Yeah.
You are kidding. If you bet on yourself, you cannot fail. The failure is just a process of getting to be where you need to be. You cannot fail. You see, I want to comment on this. Like people say, why should I meditate? Why should I learn the science of transformation? Do you think you have an option, sir? Like some people say, why should I exercise? Do you have an option of living a life without exercising? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What world you are in? You see, this world has this luxury, the idea of riches. I have so many options. I have so many things. You don't have. That clarity must happen. Hear this, There's only one of you. There's only you for you. I can believe you, anybody can believe you or disbelieve. You only have you. There might be 8 billion people on earth, but there's only one of you. If you don't bet on you, who will? You haven't realized the truth of aloneness. Now, this is the key into any spiritual exercise. Aloneness means I am solely dependent on me. I am the one who must initiate. Your problem is people don't pass beyond parenting. People don't pass beyond the pseudo love, pseudo support. And many times people support you to cripple you. You follow this. That is why you're asking this question. Many people say you don't have to. I will take the burden for you. This is a good time for me to reveal this. After years and years of working, and I've worked with people in many, many capacity and some very close. I've taken them under my wing. They've lived with me. They've worked with me. They come along with me. Do you know I've not managed to help one person despite them? I have not managed to do one thing despite them. And the one that I did despite them, I actually ruined them.
Hmm.
Let me explain this. Like I want them to be well. I supported monetarily or I supported in any way. I only made the things worse. So one thing I have a wisdom, I cannot support anyone who's not banking on themselves.
Hmm.
Then they live off my belief of them,
Yep.
their own earn. So I want you to think about supporting somebody. The other day I was trying to talk to you about this. I sometimes think that's my biggest failure. Trying to help. I handle community. I handle a group of people. I handle young entrepreneurs. I handle many, many people that I went in the name of helping to wake up to realize maybe what I did was not help. Millions of dollars and whatever that I spent, I realized maybe I didn't help. Maybe I just made it worse or postponed the inevitable. But now there's a change. I will bank on somebody who says I'm worth banking on. And that you have to earn. So I throw the question back to you. In what state, if you are in, you are worth investing in? Like I had a friend, a student in Sweden. They are venture capitalists. And he was telling me the story, they take like every year 4,000 companies and they bring it down to 10 companies. They invest money. They invest millions and millions of dollars, startups. He said, at the end, we make the decision after all the criterion is met on the people running it.
Hmm.
The idea is to be sound. After all that, they find the person that they believe they can be banked on. I think you are contemplating an option minusing you. I'm saying there is no life minusing you.
Do you think that there are people that never bet on themselves?
No, most don't want to bet on themselves. Most will never bet on themselves. You know why? They don't want to own the failure. They don't want to own the struggle. You see, there is this movement of ease, it's part of the biology. We are lazy. We just want to find the easy way out. And the addiction for ease is they never place themselves that they will come under scrutiny. So they dodge. So most success are fake. They take an opportunity. The opportunity made them successful. They claim they did it. They never banked on themselves. That is why once it failed, they can never rebuild. Right? So I think there is this option. It's a non-existent option that I can fake success. I can fake life. I can fake love. Why are people looking for the right person? Why aren't they working on being the right person?
Great question.
Like every boss is looking for the right employee. I always ask, are you working on being the right boss too?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are not a right boss. You get the right employee, you're going to make a mess out of it.
Would you say like people will settle for less because they're not willing to bet on themselves?
Bingo. That's the statement. You are unconsciously settling for less because you are not taking the trouble to be the kind of person who can bet on yourself. You are unconsciously reducing your standard. It's like somebody buys, Porsche, and he's happy. I say, why are you happy? You got only one. Why not buy 5? Somebody gets a promotion, they're happy. Why? Aren't you the CEO? You must study how you rest. Your happiness determines where you quit, not your sorrow, your happiness. Oh, I have $100,000 in my bank. I'm happy. It's not 1 million. It's not 10 million. So the quitting, people who don't bet on themselves have to quit. Hear me, Will we fail? For sure. Will we struggle? For sure. But I tell you, waking up to be the person who can bet on oneself must be the central theme of living, isn't it? I'm worth it. It's like this. If somebody loves you, can you look into the person and say, you have made the right choice, sir. I am worth loving because I'll be right by it. Somebody believe in you. Can you look into the person's eyes and say, you are believing in the right person? I will wake up to be the person that will be right by your belief. But hear this, Hear this, you all have too much option to quit. That is the sophistication, the modernization now, There is a sophistication. That is the luxury that we will pay a dear price for. Find what is the area you cannot fail.
I mean, if there is something that you really want, you always have to deal with the consequence that you might fail.
No, not what you want. What is that you have to do? You, as my daughter, must live amazing life. Have to. There is no choice.
I'm trying.
No, you die trying. You're going to make me proud. You're going to. What else will you do? Whatever difficulty you go through, it's like in the gym. You enjoy the workout. You are not going to harbor failing, escaping, and so many people making a provision. Somebody once was showing me, I don't know whether it'll come out right, but I'll say, oh, this is a 2-bedroom house with this, with this, with this. And I say, I'm supposed to be happy. That's all I can afford, I'll buy it. I'll stay in it. But don't tell me to be happy, sir. I want 20-bedroom house. It's almost telling you quitting is okay. It's like the SEAL training, 100 people join, they only take 10 people, 90% have to fail. They're pushing people to fail, but the 10% that succeed are the guys. And who are the people? People who believe in themselves, people who will bank on it, people who found an organic reason to strive here. I hope you're listening to me to be encouraged to strive, to struggle, to improve, to grow. I hope you're not listening to me for a tip how to do this without those things, because I don't know how. Golf ball, you hit 200 balls a day. For the next 6 months, you have half a swing. 3 years later, you might have a decent swing. You will still shoot 20 over, 30 over. Maybe after 4 years, 5 years, you might, if you didn't quit and be happy with wherever you are, you might be a scratch golfer. That is the statistics. But some people are happy just shooting 20 over. It's okay. I'm not condemning them. That's the area they will never see the best of them. Before it's just fun. Now again, is the definition of fun settling?
No.
So when you go out on a weekend and you get drunk and you jump up and down, you all do whatever you do, we are having fun. Is it the translation of quitting is what you think fun is?
I don't know. I don't think
I hope Monday morning is fun when you go to work to get things done.
it's different. It's a different thing we want in this life.
Maybe it's different. I give you that, but I'm asking you to think about it.
It's fun in a different way.
No, they encourage quitting as though it's rest, I like to watch the clips of the drill sergeants breaking the recruits, breaking the recruits. And they break them by the relief from the pain. If you can look upon the pain differently, as excitement of living, solving a problem, encountering, I think there is a certain gauge within us of our own internal comfort, And I think you should challenge that state of internal comfort.
I'll give you an example too, because it's very abstract.
Right.
I hopefully by the time this episode comes out, I will have a result for my university applications. But I wanted to do something, and for the longest time, I told myself I will not be doing a master's degree. I don't want to apply. I don't want to study. I don't want to do it. It's going to be hard. I don't want to get in. It's going to be so difficult. And finally, I got to the point I was like, you have to be okay to fail this. Because if the other option is doing open level free courses, it's not going to give me what something where I need to be chosen for is going to give me. But it took me a long time to be like, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to do this. And I know I can fail, and I'm going to be very disappointed if I fail. I'll also be okay if I fail. But for a long time, I was coasting, being like, I don't want to do that because it's scary to do that.
Right.
And do you think it's a process?
Yes. And you are just declaring your own process. And now that you're ready to do your master's degree, you're going to go do it. But you came to it. Nobody pushed you. It was your evolution. You did the work. You saw all the other option of not doing it, and you realized, no, I got to do this.
I got to bet on myself now.
You have to bet on yourself. And actually, that's what you are doing. You say, I don't want to settle this way. You are betting I'm more than this. You are saying I'm more than this. I'm going to go to London. I'm going to study. And I'm going to do my master's degree. And I hope later you do something more.
Yeah.
But you know what is a beautiful thing? You came to it on your own. None of us pressured you.
But I also had the choice to spend the last 7 years coming to this decision.
Yeah, but you know why you're doing it? This is hell. Without touching the next step, this is hell.
Yeah.
And that is the hell that he said, I will go through this hell because this hell doesn't look that bad compared to this hell. You say, now I have to go to the world class. I have to go to that level. That's what I'm saying. Again, let me just see whether I can get this point. Not betting on yourself is resting in hell. Even though betting on yourself feel like hell, you have to go through a lot of process.
Yeah.
But not betting on yourself is far worse. So you're going to bet on yourself. And you know, when you start betting on yourself and something happens, you come alive. The best of you come alive. And you get to be that person. You are saying, I don't want to be this person anymore. This is not me. I am not being authentic. I need to be the person I know I can be. Now you're going for it. That's it. That's it. Like when I was playing golf, I could shoot. But I said, I'm not stopping until I become a scratch golfer, until at least I have an opportunity to be pro. I am not stopping. Am I there yet? Working on it. Might win some senior tournament, I don't know, but working on it. But I will work on it and I will fail trying it, and I'm okay because it's not my profession. It's not something I can spend 40 hours a week. But I will not rest where I am and pretend that makes me happy. So I'm saying a lot of your notion of happiness is the joy of quitting misunderstood.
But there's also the survival aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
That some people don't have the luxury to fail, and so they don't.
Yeah.
You didn't have a choice.
No.
But I
didn't have a choice after I met your mother. I had to put my brothers and sisters to school. I had to support my family. So that was not a big deal. I could do it while I was working. But when I met your mother, I had no choice but to keep her in the lifestyle she deserves to be. She trusted and came to me. I had no choice. If it means like this girl who's come to me, I love this girl, if I say, how can I fail? More so when you guys came along. But do you know that's my blessing? You know why? The struggle didn't feel like struggle.
Do you think that like I think to myself, I have the luxury to fail. If this doesn't work out for me, I will be devastated, but I will
survive, not live.
Yeah.
Hear this. If you fail this, you can survive. Your family can take care of you. You will get a job. You'll be okay. But you will only survive. You will give up living. So what is at stake is your living. What is at stake is what you do. That is at stake. I don't know how they do it. They do something.
But I think I'm thinking that survival in terms of like finance and children and having people to support, but you also have to survive yourself.
Yeah.
And that it's different. Obviously, it's not as scary as if you need to feed your children.
No, it's just an image. Let's say you go do this and you fail. You wake up to realize, maybe this is not for me to do. That's all. It is not the end of all.
Mm.
And it might be the best thing that ever happened. You'll find what is yours to do. So remember, failure is, when you're given all you got, is a declaration, this might not be for you. By that, it opens the door. Like I did all kinds of business. I did this. I own many companies. But I realized, out of all the things I did, this is what I'm most passionate. I think this is the area I'm most gifted with. And I had to do so many things to be clear about this. So sometimes a failure is needed for you to be clear. You could be hallucinating, right? So I am saying there is no failure, really. just a disappointment on an idea, and it's just an idea. You follow? It's just a disappointment of an idea. Like you thought you left your handphone here, you look down, it's not there. You go like, where the hell did I put it? Suddenly you realize you put it on the side. That's all. It's just recalibration.
Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is that, like, I look at, like, when you started your journey and you're betting on yourself and figuring out this life, it's easy for me to see it as you didn't have a choice. You had to make it. You needed a house, you needed to pay your rent, you had children, you had all of that. As somebody who has my basic needs met, I'm like, oh, I could fail, but I would be failing myself. It's the same.
It's the same thing. You see, you have more. I had to meet basic need. You have to meet the higher need, which I took a long time to come to. You see, I got it easy, I had to make money, take care of the family, raise my children. And I'm glad God gave me only that challenge. For you, it's a greater challenge. You have to live your fulfillment. You have to actualize yourself. The modern day women, the rest of it is there. No different, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Certain people say, oh, my father is wealthy, I'm privileged. I said, in what way? Your father only had to make money. You had to live. I think when you are born in privilege, it's worse. Like, take Toby for an instant, right? He's here. The father has probably handed him the crystal castle or something. He has to run it at 25. He can be a possible CEO. But do you know what responsibility? Now he has to take that and go 10 times further.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think he's worse off than starting from zero. So maybe I got it easy.
It's the perception, right? Because the basic needs are not met. So therefore we see as that
is the ultimate goal.
It's worse. It's harder.
Right. So when they say you are privileged, they are lying, There is a greater demand. I think don't let anybody lie to you. Just because your survival is taken care, you are okay. No, you owe a living. You owe a living. You owe a contribution. You owe being more than you. I just have to take care of this. I just have to take care of this. You have far more riding on you. And don't let anybody lie as though there is an option. You don't have an option just to live a life in survival. You don't. All we have done is created a safety for survival. That's also a safety, Some money, some situation. You can survive. You can have a meal. You can have a room over your head. That's all we have provided. Don't exaggerate it. I can buy you a car, but you got to figure out where you want to go. So this is when people have privilege, or little privilege. They think, oh my God, I've given you everything. No, you haven't given me anything. You have just covered my basic. And parents who think that's the highest they can give are fooling themselves. I want us to recognize now there is a higher demand of living. You have to really contribute. You really have to live a full life.
Yeah.
And that you don't have an option. So you and I are in the same boat, and I think I got it easy. Really, I got it easy. I just have to take care of my family, feed the family, feed my community, feed some people, take care of some children. That's all I've done. Be a leader of some sort. But now when the kids are coming back and they're doing psychology and they're doing, engineering, and I'm looking at them, I'm going like, wow. But what have I done? I've only helped that part. They still have to live an incredible life out, right?
I guess like the concept of betting on yourself it's endless. It doesn't matter where you start.
That's it. I used to think when I was a kid, it would be nice to be Aboriginal, All I got to do is go out in the morning, hunt a wild boar, and my day is done. I used to think living in the forest would be fun. At one time, I actually ran away from the home to become Tarzan. Talk to your grandmother. I ran away and I wanted to be Tarzan. Because I thought that would be easy. Because I can hunt a wild boar when I was young. I can catch a fish. In that situation, that might be it. You are in a different situation. Nowadays, I don't think I had as much pressure as you guys are having. I didn't have, mine was just survival. So don't exaggerate this. What I've provided is only basic. You have food, shelter, maybe I can pay for your education. My God, My God, you have to live a life. You and I are in the same boat, but I think I'm better off.
Before we end it, last question. Is it always a good idea to bet on yourself? Is there a preparation? How do we get to that
No,
point?
you must tell. How did you bet on yourself at this point that you say, I'm going to do my master's program?
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, that's it. But it took you a while. How many years have you been here?
7 years.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, with the pandemic was 2 years.
But 7 years. It took you 7 years to mature. But you remember, you were 21.
But I bet on I was scared when I left New York, but it was another way I was betting on myself. Okay, I'm going to come home and try something else.
No, but you were 21, 22, 23. These are kids. So it took you 5-6 years to mature. And that's what it is. Why are you unnaturally placing a pressure on you? You arrived here. You could have stayed another couple of years. I wouldn't have complained. I don't want to lose you to another country. But why are we saying it as though there's something wrong with it? No, it's exactly the evolution. You came, you gave it a try, you grew, you did a lot of good work, you grew, you reach a point, you said, this is not enough for me.
This is a ceiling, yeah.
Go. And hear this, you are in that same point I was when I started my first business. My goal was something else. Your goal is something else. But we are both in that point. So you are not better off than me. Because a lot of time you think, I'm privileged. No, you are not. You are struggling as much as I do. Like this notion, oh, we raise our children well. We gave them education. To the parents, I'm saying, that's all you gave. Don't deny the struggle the child has to go through. And many times, making them deny it is what makes them collapse. You follow what I'm saying? Like as though you have it all. We have given you food and shelter and education. Life should be good. No, that's when life begins. I sometimes look at you, your sister, and all the kids here, and I'm looking, oh my God, the journey you're about to go through, the highs, the lows. So don't delude yourself just because there is survival, you have arrived. No. Survival has arrived. You still have the next leap. It's as hard as how your fathers and mothers brought you to this point. So don't take that away from you. Why I'm saying this is, now you got to bet on yourself. Because you're saying, I have privilege, so I don't have to bet on myself. I'm saying, no. You take Toby for an instant. To run that company, everybody will say, you must be so lucky your father built this company, hand it over to you. You get to run it, you have made it. No, he has made enough money to have a house, a car. But this is when I'm sorry for that boy. He has to take that and make it. Took your father, 30 years to get there, Toby? 30 years to get there. You are not even 30. You have to deal with it. I'm telling you, you have to talk to your father. That looks like a punishment. But all I'm saying is, no different.
I think that what it is that the perception of our ability to fail feels like we have more space, like Toby or myself, we have more space to fail because our basic needs are met. And when you started, you didn't. But in fact, we have this, our ability to fail is the same.
Same.
And what is at stake is essentially, in terms of what it means, is the same.
You see, I will be celebrated by my common people, normal people. Oh, you made money. Oh, you became successful. They are only talking about me having a fridge full of food. The other values are not applied to me, which should be applied. To say, okay, you made all this. Did you live? Were you fulfilled? Did you unleash your creativity? That's the real question, isn't it? So sometimes when people only talk about survival, it's a bit of an escape. Like you take America. Oh my God, it's a developed nation. What do you mean by developed nation? There's enough drive-through. There is enough food. The government can take care of the people. That's all the government can do. Take care of your survival. But now you are poised for living, which is harder. You see, in the Neanderthal time, I have to only bring back a deer home or food home. The demand was so little. Make a fire at night, sit. The additional demand is missing. You have to build a culture. You have to become a complete person. Which that burden is on me at a later part of my life. You are starting there, so I'm sorry for you. So you need to bet on yourself. I think anybody who tells, oh my God, that person is lucky, look at it again. Look.
And maybe that person is not lucky, that person is brave.
Brave. Explain.
That you have to be brave to bet on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And luck is not something that just happens. I mean, even in small ways, we do it every day, right? Like you be super friendly to the guy that's making your coffee. There's a chance he could be like, here, take it. But there's a chance they could also be super nice to you and give you an extra treat because you were nice. That will be perceived as luck. But I was brave enough to be nice to this person I don't know.
Right.
And I think people perceive luck as something beyond our control, but it's not.
I think what I'm trying to say, maybe not doing a good job. At any one point, you cannot escape betting on you.
Yeah.
And parents shouldn't make a mistake as though they've created everything. The child doesn't have to bet on themselves. I must hold the respect. My God, oh my God, what you're going to go through. That you're on your own on this. I can support. It's just support. But you have to do it. And you must look upon yourself that way, not to use this stupid privilege of survival as a way to quit. So you have to learn to bet on yourself. Which means what, I will die trying. I rather fail trying than not try at all.
Yeah.
So you cannot give yourself any slack. You have to go. The biggest problem in the world is when you give everything for survival, people think they've arrived home. They don't understand after survival, work begins. Like anybody who works for APA, I give them what they need. What do you need? Survival, this, that, car, whatever space. Got it? You're rested. Now get to work. Because now you don't have to worry about that. Now perform. But if your survival is at stake, you don't have to worry about perform. You only talk about survival. For the first time in human history, we are talking about living, We're talking about living. We're talking about fulfillment. We're talking about actualization. We are talking about worthwhile production, what I'm offering. And you can't quit on it. I rather you die trying and not try at all. Settling back to survival is the betrayal of the survival that was given to you. The survival was given to you so that you can strive and do the things we couldn't do because we were stuck in survival. You understand? But we are in the same boat. I think I'm in a better boat.
You are only in this boat now at 60.
50 something. Don't you dare.
But this has been my boat.
And I feel for you. I cheer you on. But the best I can tell you is you need to bet on you and I will bet on you. Thank you. And for everybody that is listening, find a way to bet on you. Do everything you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.